Hey MCS Jets, I am back with Dr. Doolittle, Chapter 11. It's called The Swallows Save the Day. I want to go and tell you up front that swallows, or a swallow, is a type of bird. Let's see how they save the day. When the doctor and the animals came to the beach, they saw Polynesia and Chi-Chi waiting for them on the rocks near the ship. I hope I did not disappoint Bumpo, said the doctor. He has a good heart. He promised he would look me up. I'm certain to see him again someday. Then the Push-Me-Pull-You, the White Mouse, Gub-Gub, Dab-Dab, Chip, and the Owl Tutu went into the ship with the doctor. But Chi-Chi, Polynesia, and the crocodile stayed behind because Africa was their real home. It was the land where they were born. Wow, I didn't know that was going to happen, Jets. I didn't realize Chi-Chi and Polynesia and the crocodile stayed behind. It's a little sad, but I'm glad that they got to go home. Going home is an important thing. And when the doctor stood upon the boat, he looked over the side across the water. He remembered that they had no one to guide them back to Puddleby. The wide, wide sea looked terribly big and lonesome in the moonlight. He began to wonder if they would lose their way. But then they heard a strange whispering noise, high in the air, coming through the night. The animals all stopped, saying goodbye, and listened. The noise grew louder and bigger. It sounded like the wind blowing through the leaves of a tree, or a great, great rain beating down upon a roof. And Jip, with his nose pointing in the air and his tail quite straight, said, "Birds, millions of them, flying fists, flying fast. That's it." They all looked up, and there they could see thousands and thousands of little birds. Soon the whole sky seemed full of them, and soon all these birds flew down. They began to settle on the sands and along the ropes of the ship. The doctor could see that they had blue wings and white bellies and very short legs. As soon as they had all found a place to sit, there was no noise left anywhere. All was quiet, all was still. And in the silent moonlight, John Doolittle spoke. "I had no idea that we had been in Africa so long. It will be nearly summer when we get home, for these are the swallows going back. Swallows, I thank you for waiting for us. It is very thoughtful of you. Now we will not lose our way upon the sea. Pull up the anchor and set sail." The ship moved out upon the water. Chi-Chi, Polynesia, and the crocodile felt very sad, for never in their lives had they known anyone they liked as much as Dr. John Doolittle of Puddleby on the Marsh. They called goodbye to him again and again and again. They all stood there upon the rocks, crying and waving till the ship was out of sight. Along the way, the doctor's ship had to pass the coast of Barbary. It is a wild, lonely place, all sand and stones, and it was here that the Barbary pirates lived. These pirates were a bad lot. They used to wait for sailors to be shipwrecked on their shores, and often, if they saw a boat passing, they would come out in their fast-sailing ships and chase it. When they caught a boat, they would steal everything on it. After they had taken the people off, they would sink the ship. Then they would sail back to the Barbary singing songs and feeling proud of the mischief they had done. They made the people they had caught write home to their friends for money. Now, one sunshiny day, the doctor and Dab-Dab were walking up and down the ship for exercise. A nice fresh wind was blowing the boat along, and everybody was happy. Soon Dab-Dab saw the sail of another ship a long way behind them. It had a red sail. "I don't like the look of that sail," said Dab-Dab. "I have a feeling it isn't a friendly ship." Jip was taking a nap in the sun, and he began to growl and talk in his sleep. "I smell roast beef cooking," he mumbled. "Underdone roast beef with brown gravy over it." "Good gracious," cried the doctor. "What's the matter with the dog? Is he smelling in his sleep as well as talking?" "I suppose he is," said Dab-Dab. "All dogs can smell in their sleep." "But what is he smelling?" asked the doctor. "There's no roast beef cooking on our ship." "No," said Dab-Dab. "The roast beef must be on that other ship over there." But that's 10 miles away, said the doctor. He couldn't smell that far, surely. Oh, yes, he could, said Dab Dab. Ask him. Then Chip, still fast asleep, began to growl again with his lip curled up angrily, showing his clean white teeth. I smell bad men, he growled. The worst men I ever smelled. I smell trouble. I smell 6 bad men fighting against one brave man. I want to help him. Woof, woof, woof. Then he barked and woke himself up with a surprised look on his face. See, cried Dab Dab, that boat is near now. You can count its 3 big sails, all red. Whoever it is, they are coming after us. They are bad sailors, said Jip, and their ship is swift. They are surely the pirates of Barbary. Well, we must put up more sails, said the doctor, so we can go faster and get away from them. Run downstairs, Jip, and fetch all the sails you see. But even when more sails were put up on the mast, the boat did not go as fast as the pirate ship. It kept getting closer and closer. Then the doctor asked Dab Dab to fly up and tell the swallows that pirates were coming after them and ask what he should do about it. When the swallows heard this, they all came down onto the doctor's ship. They told him to unravel some long rope and make it into a lot of thin strings as quickly as he could. Then the ends of these strings were tied onto the front of the ship, and the swallows took hold of the strings with their feet and flew off, pulling the boat along. And there, tied to the doctor's ship, were 1,000 strings, and 2,000 swallows were pulling on each string. There's the swallows. They were very swift flyers. In a moment, the doctor found himself traveling so fast he had to hold his hat on with both hands. All the animals on the ship began to laugh and dance about in the rushing air. For when they looked back at the pirate ship, they could see that it was growing smaller. The red sails were being left far, far behind. Okay, NCS Jets, that's the end of chapter 11. Hopefully I will come back soon with chapter 12.